the second time this season.
Oh, Williamson's strength. Incredible strength on the inside. Knocked Michael Wilson to the ground.
Already Corliss with position. Gives it up to McDaniel, but a reach-in steal, and here goes Memphis. Wright missing. Elmer Martin pulls it down for the Razorbacks.
Brilliant speed by Wright. We've seen so many outstanding freshmen and sophomore big guys in the NCAA tournament. Joe Smith, of course, went out last night, a sophomore, but Wright seemed to be one of the top ones.
Elmer Martin for the first 2 of the game.
Averaging 1.8 points a game, Jim, so he's already over his average.
Well, he actually had the game-winning points in the game against Memphis earlier this year. 2 free throws in the last minute. Mingo Johnson with a 3.
Mingo Johnson shooting extremely well. You can see both teams going after each other.
Mingo knocked down 67 of them on the season. Corey Beck trying to answer and does.
Henderson in the man-to-man situation got caught in a mismatch. Beck on Johnson.
A reach-in called on Corey Beck. Billy, when we saw Arkansas early in the season, Beck was battling foul trouble in a series of games, including the season opener against UMass.
Certainly did the first couple of games. The Georgetown game that followed that we had him, Jim, in foul trouble in that one as well. Of course, going up against Allen Iverson. Settle back in a little zone.
Bingo. This time, there's Lorenzen Wright.
Nice fake.
Strong. Loose ball goes to Beck.
Good hit ahead.
Now going the other way. The race. Garner in the middle.
Wilson is one of the quickest, best vertical leapers in college basketball.
Missed the short one, though. 5-3 Arkansas. What a pace here early. Foul called on Wright inside.
Jim, Michael Wilson, who we saw miss that easy one on inside, then bounce right back up and get the rebound. Supposed to have a vertical leap that by some have been measured by over 50 inches. I've never heard of that before in basketball.
Scotty Thurman comes up short. Well, Larry Finch told us yesterday you'll never see anybody like him. In a violation, traveling against the Tigers.
The great David Thompson of NC State back in the early 70s had about the best vertical leap I've seen of a player who also then could contribute great skills, but 51 inches, that's getting off the ground. Wow. Playing Martin too tight. He's not going to take that shot. Leaves Beck wide open. The second time we've got a mismatch on defense on assignments in this game.
And Beck all nylon for the second time from three-point land. Garner. Well, not usually a great outside shooter, but pure on that one.
Well, from 3, he's shooting 125 on the year, so obviously not somebody you'd expect to be drilling from the outside. Both of these teams, though, in that first game, Jim, 88-87, you know they can put points on the board. Double down from the inside on Williamson.
And it bounced off Corliss last in that 88-87 Arkansas victory on February the 9th at Walton Arena. Mingo Johnson of Memphis had a shot to win it at the end, a three-pointer. Bounced off the rim.
Scotty Thurman's been quiet so far on both ends of the floor.
He's taken one shot, short on that jumper. Mingo driving, beautiful.
Obviously the left hand came to his advantage there.
Corliss.
Garner had no chance whatsoever. Down about Corliss Williamson's waist.
10-7 Razorbacks.
Neither team playing very solid defense so far. I mean, they're playing hard, but a lot of wide open looks in this game. Martin a little shaky in the open floor, Jim. Count it.
Nothing shaky about that.
You cannot play behind Corliss Williamson. try to get himself not only in foul trouble, but normally able to maybe block some shots. Corliss just too wide to play that far behind.
He's so strong, it's hard to get around him to prevent him from getting position. Anderson looking for some help.
Nice help by McDaniel.
Trying to go into Lorenzen Wright. The freshman really hasn't gotten started yet. Down court. Daniel gave it up at the last second to Williamson. Corliss liked it.
Good teamwork on that play by McDaniel. He could have put it away. Nice hit ahead by Scotty Thurman. Very much underrated passer is Thurman. There you can see the foul. Took everything they could to keep Corliss on the floor there.
Corliss, after getting hacked, searched for McDaniel. To salute that pass.
Young man pass. Again, the SEC's MVP. First team all-conference again.
The Final Four's MOP last year, most outstanding player is what they call it at the Final Four.
Fouled out in that Syracuse game, Jim, and that could have really hurt him. He had 25 points, 10 rebounds. But watch the last important seconds over on the sidelines, plus the overtime.
Scotty. That's the shot to beat Kentucky in the home game against the Wildcats this year.
So smooth. Plays the game under control at all times.
15-7 Razorbacks.
Now they got two big guys in there with Vaughn and Wright. See if the double post works.
McDaniel, great at thefts. Got one there, and the foul called against Vaughn. Arkansas on the attack early. They've knocked down 6 out of 7 from the field for an 8-point lead.
City, Pat O'Brien along with George Raveling and Clark Kellogg. Arkansas leads 15-7. Going to track that game for you and look in on East Rutherford, where Wake Forest leads by a point against Oklahoma State in black. Clark Kellogg.
Yeah, this could be an ugly game. Both of these teams have been parked on that 20-point mark for a while. Both of these teams very solid defensively, and the game will be determined by who can put together a little mini run.
Coach, what do your eyes see here?
Wake shooting 7 of 24. Dave Odom's got to feel awfully good, Pat, about this. A 1-point lead shooting as poorly as they're shooting.
This is the game we were hoping. Actually, I think we were praying early it would be a close game for us early on here on CBS, and we'll keep track of it for you. And let's go back to Kansas City and Jim Nance and Billy Packer. Arkansas leads by 8. 14:39 left. Here's Jim.
All right, thank you, Patrick. Corliss Williamson picked up a foul at the other end. David Vaughn inside the arc. Lorenzen Wright tips it over to Beck. Ahead to McDaniel. And the foul against Mingo Johnson.
Jim, so far in this ball game, Memphis has not gotten into any pattern whatsoever offensively. And what it's allowing, since they have no spacing on their offensive end, it's allowing Arkansas to get away not only on breaks, but when they come down a court and a half court set, nobody is on the right man. So you can see why Arkansas is off to this early lead.
McDaniel, 6'4" senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That was his 92nd steal a minute ago.
One point during the year, he led the NCAA. Steals, 1 of 2 for McDaniel.
Lackadaisical foul shot, didn't stay with the follow-through.
Garner,
again,
almost a steal by, there it is, McDaniel with his second one already.
So quick.
Now, tough call here, and a debate. Well, maybe they'll call it a tie-up situation. Oh, we're going to call a foul here.
Oh, no foul. Here we see a steal, a re-steal, a kick, a slap. Referee's in the way, out of bounds. And I think it should have been Memphis ball. Jim, how many times?
That's a big call there, Billy. That's the second foul against Beck.
Boy, I really didn't see a foul in the situation. Ball was kicked out of bounds. Beck kind of reached in there. Memphis ends up with the ball on the foul.
Mingo.
Boy, nice release.
His second 3 of the night, and that stops an 8-point run by Arkansas.
Big game against Purdue, 18 points. leading off right where he left off on that victory.
He has 8 of their 10, but the Razorbacks lead by 6.
Settling down a little bit in their man-to-man defense now, Jim. Got some bad mismatches.
Foul away from the ball called against Cedric Henderson.
Calling this thing tight for a game that doesn't have a flow so far, you know.
Alex Dillard in the lineup for Arkansas, number 3. Beck to the bench with 2 fouls.
And Jim, that's a good call on your part because that takes Beck, their floor leader, out of the game with that cheap second foul.
Williams in position again. Cantor short. Justin Wimmer, number 3 of Memphis, has also come into the game.
Wimmer had 13 against Arkansas in the first game. Maybe the reason he's coming in so early. Look for the pull-up.
Got caught underneath the goal. Now Memphis wants to run with it. Boy, you talk about wild action.
It really is amazing. Not well played so far at this point. It may be the fact that these people are so used to each other in terms of how often they've seen each other at home. But neither team playing with any flow. Quick dish. That was a good catch.
Over Martin. And Vaughn, the all-time rebounder in the great Midwest Conference.
Well, we had Erwin Claggett, the all-time scorer last year, and of course he will be for the rest of history since the league is no more.
Wimmer, the 3. Off the bench, Justin Wimmer.
I really think that Arkansas needs to slow down. They've been able to get the ball inside to Williamson whenever they want to. They've gone away from it.
Wimmer again. That would have tied it. Talk about how well these kids know each other. 13 in uniform tonight from the city of Memphis. Off the glass, Corliss.
And Vaughn got a little piece of that, but Corliss again, he's posting up about 4 feet from the hoop.
Anderson posting up, lost the handle, but knocked out by Arkansas. Here's the position you don't want. Corliss with 7 to lead the Hogs.
If you buy a new Cavalier today.
But bad floor balance. Look at Arkansas. 3 men inside, 1 behind. Wimmer realized he's got an opening. Vaughn hits ahead. Easy 3-point shot for Memphis. Nobody on a shooter. Both teams having real problems, Jim, getting back on defensive floor balance.
Oh, Wimmer from that same corner. And the ball saved by Rodney Newsom, but then touched out of bounds. Rodney Newsom checking in, 6'6" junior from Memphis. By the way, the school last July 1st officially changed the name from Memphis State University to the University of Memphis.
I don't know how many times I'll say Memphis State tonight for the fact that they had such a great basketball tradition. Keith Lee, of course, go back to the days of Larry Finch himself. Final 4 team, knocked off by UCLA. Yep.
There's a turnover, a little miscommunication.
There was a 2-3 zone that time, Jim. First time Memphis has shown it.
Nolan Richardson's 10th year. He's taken Arkansas to 2 Final Fours, 90, and then the championship year last year. New players on the floor for Arkansas. They brought in Davor Remots, number 22, Lee Wilson, number 33, and Dwight Stewart, number 15.
Beck is back in the game, but not guarding the ball handler. He's on Newsom.
On. Saved by Newsom.
Missed 4 games with a kidney stone problem. Was going to start against Kentucky. We had him down there in Arkansas. One of the finest games that we had this year.
Lee Wilson with a recent rare miss. Watch this man, 33 for Arkansas. He is bubbling with confidence right now. Great work. Newsom, no good. calling a foul on Wimmer. Coming up later tonight, Tulsa, Coach Richardson's former team, against UMass. In the East, Virginia and Kansas, the duel here at Kemper.
Interesting situation. UMass, Kentucky, UCLA, and Kansas in the John Wooden matchup to start the season, Jim. They all still alive to get to a Final Four.
Wilson, he hit 25 of 30 since February the 18th.
Jim, I really think he can be a key to another quest for a national championship for Arkansas. Just gives them that big team. Wow. What a call.
Wimmer went flying. It looked like he had solid position.
Without question, Jim. Stewart didn't realize where he was going. See, he had his back turned. Wimmer's waiting on him. How can that be a foul on Wimmer?
Well, he just made one shining moment anyway with that highlight.
You see, Stewart turned around. He didn't realize where he was. Wimmer standing in good defensive position. Gets run over by a freight train. Stewart, of course, led everything off in this NCAA tournament for Arkansas with the 7 threes.
1-and-1 here. Wimmer goes to the bench.
Get his faculties back. I
Really?
mean, he was really hit. Of course, he leads the team in charges with 17 on the year. That would have been number 18, but I doubt give him a double for that one.
I doubt he had a better draw charge after all season than that one.
Man, you got a guy that had his head turned and still don't get the charge.
Traveling against Memphis. Out of sync right now. The Tigers have hit 1 of their last 10 from the field. Lorenzen Wright gets back into the game, and I'm sure this is Finch's game plan now to get it more active. Lorenzen.
It's a very good rebounding team in the game now with Wilson there, and they give up an easy one. Nice decision by Dillard. There's that 2-3 zone. A lot of shot blockers in this game now.
Dillard on the run, missing 4-on-2. Tigers. And they get a field goal on this trip. Lorenzen Wright. Got it.
That was a nice idea on Garner's part. Pulled up at the foul line so he didn't create congestion. Gave Wright an opportunity to have enough space to score.
His first 2. Memphis in a 2-3 now. Lee Wilson.
That should have been intentional.
Yep.
Should have been intentional. Let's see if it's called.
Purposely pushed from behind.
Sure, I mean, Jim, that should be 2 shots and the ball.
David Vaughn collects his second.
Don't like the way this game's being officiated. Now there's a man right behind him, pushes a man down from the back. If that's not an intentional foul, I don't know what is.
Wilson 69% from the field and 50% from the line on the season.
18 points, 5 rebounds, and a big win against Syracuse. With that one, they were dead because Corliss was on the bench.
Wow. Read perfectly by the Razorbacks.
Corey Beck, brilliant play.
Dillard pulling 3. Oh, he loved it.
It's like a layup for him, Jim. Of course, in the overtime, he hit that drive, then he hit that 3 from the outside. Tie up the game against Syracuse. Wild game. Surprised they don't give Garner that shot.
Arkansas fans on their feet, but Henderson scores inside for Memphis.
Garner threaded a needle on that one, Jim, against the zone defense.
Arkansas momentarily with its largest lead of 10 before that bucket by the Tigers. Stewart gets it back to 10.
Beautiful release by Stewart on the jumper. He's got unlimited range, but even inside, he's got the soft touch.
Arkansas coming out really strong here tonight at Kemper Arena. Defensively, really creating some problems inside. Ball missing. Wilson, what, muscling for the rebound right there.
He's changing everything, isn't he?
Corliss Williamson's on the bench with 7 points right now. And a violation on the line, on the end line, Dillard. So we go to the break in Kansas City. Arkansas with its largest lead of the half. Has hit only 7 of 23 from the field, and they have not even made a trip to the free throw line 13 minutes into this game.
Jim, half-court defense has been excellent by Arkansas, but 29% will get Memphis nowhere. The other thing is that Arkansas holding their own on the boards. In the first game, Memphis had a decided advantage.
First game, Billy alluding to an 88-87 Arkansas victory on February the 9th in Fayetteville. Garner, boy, there was nowhere to go with that pass. Wilson intercepts. Wilson in the lane. Oh boy, is he coming on? Lee Wilson out of Waco, Texas.
Jim, people wondered why Arkansas didn't dominate this year, and I still go back to Wilson and Robinson. Had they been healthy, I think you'd have seen a team that was capable of dominating college basketball. Now at least one of them coming on board.
Alex Dillard putting on some fancy footwork. Wilson again gives it up.
Stewart's ready for his jumper. They just won't let him have it over there.
I think Dillard's ready for one too, but Wilson turnaround.
Good job by Memphis to not give up on Stewart.
Henderson.
Even the good shots aren't falling for him right now. That was a good look. Good movement without the ball by Henderson. Now Nolan Richardson can come back to his 2 aces.
Talking about Corliss Williamson, Scotty Thurman, and also entering for the first time tonight, Darnell Robinson, number 44.
Feel sorry for that young man, Jim. He really is having a problem with that foot. We watched him yesterday in practice. Has a very difficult time running up and down the court. Has the potential to be one of the best big guys in college basketball.
Up shot Garner over a couple of towers.
Robinson got a piece of that one.
Dillard in traffic, has it taken away. 3-on-1. Henderson trailing, block called against Robinson.
But there's a nice thing that Nolan Richardson's doing right there with Robinson. He can afford to give up some fouls, maybe looking ahead a little bit in the fact that he's got a lot of fouls to give with big people, similar to what a Kansas can do.
Arkansas traveled 205 miles from Fayetteville to get here. In Kansas campus, only 40 miles away. Jayhawks and Cavaliers in the nightcap here at Kansas City. David Vaughn returns. He has not scored for Memphis so far, and Lorenzen Wright, freshman of the year in the Great Midwest, one of the top freshmen in the country, only 2 points so far. And that's the first free throw attempt of the evening. And Memphis not a good team from the free throw line.
Not at all.
Only 64%, 5 games they shot under 50%.
Well, in that first Arkansas game, Jim, Arkansas was 12 for 27 from the foul line. Memphis was 15 for 28. So either team could have been totally in control if they would have shot well from the strike.
Corliss a little out of control with that one. 8th Arkansas turnover. 5:45 remaining first half.
Waiting for one of the 2 interior people, Wright or Vaughn, to get something started in this game. That's what has to happen. There's a foul.
Mingo Johnson fouled in the act of a 3. He's already buried a couple from beyond the arc, and Mingo will go to the line for 3.
Has enjoyed playing against Cincinnati this year. Some big games, 21-17 against them another time, 5 threes.
3 guys, 3.
Excellent shooter. Great release.
From the line, though, only 64%. He'll shoot 2 more.
He's actually shooting better from 3 than he is from the field inside 3 by about a percentage point. Anybody capable, Jim, of shooting 40% from 3 is capable of shooting 80% from the foul line.
Boy, you would think.
Without question.
Got them all. Trims it to 7.
Full court pressure. 1-2-1-1 with Vaughn all the way back.
McDaniel doubled up, snaps it ahead to Robinson. In the corner, Scotty loves that shot, and you can see why.
Well, it wasn't quite as high as the shot over Lang, but he didn't have a defender in his way. Ooh, I think he got hurt going down, didn't he?
They traveled. David Vaughn a little slow to get up.
They're saying don't get up too fast. He had to pull up quickly.
That's Lorenzen Wright offering that advice. Hurts a little more when you turn it over, too.
You see, you know, with the bad foot that he's had, I'm sure that he's a little bit afraid anytime that he gets in that kind of a collision. Don't blame him.
Had a stress fracture on the left foot in February. Knocked him out of 5 games. Justin Wimmer, number 3 for Memphis, returns to the lineup.
Back to man-to-man.
Corliss has been getting that position on the blocks all night.
Well, Wright's doing a little better job pushing him out now by a step.
Mingo Johnson called timeout from the floor.
And he does have a timeout.
32-22. Hogs by 10.
The pass goes over the top. Robinson makes the good play, and the man you don't even see against the back line of the press is Scotty Thurman. The ball is delivered without one dribble. Thurman with that patented jumper from the corner hits for 3. Excellent execution by Arkansas.
32-22. Razorbacks, final 5 minutes of the first half. Other than a brief 3-2 Memphis lead, it's been all Arkansas. Foul on Robinson of the Hogs.
That was on the cut, Jim. And Garner got one right in the throat, I believe.
Only the 16th foul. One more will be the bonus.
But again, Nolan Richardson able to give him some fouls with this bench he's using tonight. Really going nicely into his bench. Robinson wanted the lob.
Robinson tipped up and in by Williamson.
It just gives an entirely different look to Arkansas when Robinson and Wilson can play. It gives you a big team you've got to go against. Then he comes back with all that quickness. Nice pump.
Mingo fires it inside. McDaniel with his 3rd steal. Thurman takes it to the rack. Locked away by Henderson. Followed up and in. +1. Corliss Williamson.
Henderson made the play, but one of the things I love about Corliss Williamson is he never quits. He runs the floor as well as anybody. I mentioned Donnie Marshall, the only frontline player in the country that runs it any better. And here comes Corliss down the floor for the putback. A lot of big guys will be on the other end, Jim, just watching how things are going to develop. That young guy never stops.
Mingo Johnson with his 2nd whistle, and Corliss now has 12. Arkansas enjoying its largest lead. 15-point advantage for Arkansas.
So far, Memphis has not been able to get anything going down inside to the 2 big guys. Again, nothing there, just one-on-one movement.
Mingo gets it back up and in. He's leading the way for the Tigers tonight with 13. Thurman. Garner gets away and is held on the escape by Clint McDaniel.
How quick do you have to be to get by McDaniel with the dribble when he's behind you waiting? Of course, they had from Treadwell some other point guards. Since '88, they've had a point guard at Treadwell, from Treadwell High in Memphis, that's led their team. Elliot Perry, who's having such an incredible year this year in the NBA. And, of course, Penny Hardaway, one of the best players in the world.
That was a 1-on-1 opportunity gone by.
Yeah, but Garner, very poor free throw shooter. Very unusual for a point guard to be that bad a free throw shooter.
Reach around steal. Henderson gets away from Remox for 2.
That was a 4-on-1. Is anybody back?
And Robinson turns it over. Pass was behind him.
Got to remember who you're throwing to. Robinson's feet really bothering him. He's going on the break. You got to make the perfect pass because he didn't have the angle.
3 subs for the Razorbacks. Stewart, Beck, and Dillard all return. So maybe a little flurry here for the Tigers. They've scored the last 4.
I think the way they're playing, Jim, and not being able to get their big guys started, they're not in that bad a shape being down 11. Could be a lot worse.
Right short. Gets it back. Third try. True. Under 10 now.
Reminded me of Tim Duncan of Wake Forest in that play, the way he kept his hands above his head.
Corliss. Right. Bingo. Yes. Down to 6 suddenly.
Didn't you get the feeling, Jim? You're supposed to put a team away like this. I mean, they've not been playing that well. They're still hanging in there.
2:15 remaining first half. 9 unanswered for the Tigers. Thurman on the run. Ball going in Memphis's direction now. Garner. Oh, missed the chippy.
Nice job by Dillard. He faked him out on the play.
Dillard, left-hand layup. I always get a kick out of Dillard beyond the arc with that little kick step move he makes before he's about to fire the 3 or fake the 3.
Well, look at the team they have on the floor. Thurman, Dillard, and Stewart. 3 great perimeter shooters. Tough to defend that. That hasn't worked yet tonight.
Now the numbers for Arkansas. Back. Corner. Dillard. Hardly anyone better.
Just when they got it down to 6, back up to 11. Some bad decisions.
Could have been 4, too. They missed the layup.
Wake Forest down, Jim. They've been down in national championships to Oklahoma State before. Golf tournament, 1986. Down 16 going into the last day. Came back to beat Scott Verplank's team. Billy Andrade and crew.
Tell you what, if they go to overtime there at the Meadowlands, maybe they just ought to put the alumni from Wake and Oklahoma State and have a little golf sudden death playoff.
That'd be possible.
Coming up, Pennzoil at the half. Back to Pat O'Brien, Clark Kellogg, George Raveling from our New York studio, and we'll be getting back to that Oklahoma State Wake Forest battle. Mingo Johnson, shoot a 1-and-1.
Jim, really interesting. You pointed out before, this team shooting only 63% as a team. Playing a conference regular season, that is difficult to do in a league as good as the Great Midwest.
And they've missed 2 front ends. 1-1. 45 seconds in the half. Got it back.
Got to come out and respect. Vaughn has to come out and respect Stewart's jump shot. They will have to give it up.
Williamson out high. Whistle away from the ball. Foul called on Beck. His
that's a technical on both of them. And this is a great call, Jim. One guy pushed, the other guy taunted. Both get it. Good piece of officiating there.
Saw an elbow in the face.
This could have been worse for both of these guys. This could have been almost a fight. And what happened is one taunted. He gets the tech for the mouth. The other gets the tech for the hand. Good call. Look at that. No indecision at all. Good piece of officiating there. And that'll stop all that nonsense.
Well, there was a lot of talking, a lot of trash talking in their first encounter this year. And Memphis said that it really wanted to tonight stay away from all of that, not be distracted, not get into any of that. But it looked like Mingo Johnson right there was.
That was a dead ball situation. Now Nolan's going to get his.
Going to get the 1-and-1 first for Mingo Johnson. He missed the front end a moment ago.
Now, I want to make sure, Jim, we haven't seen any indication. They can't call it a fight because Johnson's the one shooting.
We're going to shoot the technicals on the Arkansas end now.
But I didn't hear the call in regard to Corey. Anybody can shoot these, but it is a technical foul.
Just remember, in all of that, Beck picked up his 3rd personal.
And Johnson is still down there going after Beck.
By the way, because of the technical, Beck picks up his 4th, Billy.
Right. Technical counts as a personal. Now we have it. It was a dead ball technical, so you have 2 shots and then the ball at the center.
Well, that's a huge development there.
That's right.
Beck now will go to the locker room at halftime, 1 away from fouling out.
Remember this year in the Connecticut Duke game that happened to Cherokee Parks, where he had the technical and the personal
On his 3rd,
That's right.
on his 4th, and that was
put him out of there.
suspended.
Correct.
Unsportsmanlike taunting and baiting is the call for the technical. We hear now. But Beck trying to explain to the coaching staff will have 4 entering the second half.
And Jim, that all started, as you pointed out, a little bit, a few possessions before when they were mouthing each other over in the sidelines in front of the Arkansas bench.
Now Memphis possession. Final 27 seconds of the half. Down 9.
Excellent call by the officials, and that'll put the game back into perspective.
Garner with Dillard looking in.
I'd almost say foul. Garner's got a free throw shooter as it is.
Garner trying to shake free, sets up Vaughn. Vaughn who likes last-second shots. Not this time, Garner. After the horn anyway. That's the end of the first half with the score. Arkansas 40. Dillard 3. And a reach-in foul against Michael Wilson of Memphis. First half numbers. 30% for the Tigers. Arkansas hit 16 of 32, 50%.
Jim, I talked about 62% in the paint. That front line was 4 for 20 in the front in the first half for Memphis. Had it not been for Mingo Johnson, they'd have been in serious trouble.
Dillard with a jumper inside the arc. Memphis has specialized this season in comeback victories. Mingo Johnson now has tied a season high 22.
Had that against UAB, Gene Bartow's club. Bartow, of course, formerly a coach at Memphis. Corliss again, posting up with him on the high.
Let me back off of that. That was a 2 at the other end by Mingo, giving him 21. Here's Wilson. Hey, Billy, his head almost hit the rim with that one.
Well, we saw a quick leaper in McDice from Alabama last weekend, but Wilson just explodes off the floor.
Corliss, jump shot, which we don't see all that often. Wright doing a good job of boxing out away from the basket. Mingo Johnson. Wilson chasing it down. The pushing foul called on Williamson.
And Wilson just a little bit too quick for Corliss out that far from the basket. He's got the inside position. Corliss still hustling. Both guys hustling well. Corliss, who gave up football in the 8th grade, almost a side body block there.
Yeah, didn't like football all that much. By the way, Corey Beck with the 4 fouls, not in the lineup to start this half.
There's the 1-3-1 zone now with Corliss running the baseline.
Tough pass inside, yeah. Dillard looking around, pulled up 3. Lorenzen Wright rips the rebound and gets fouled.
Boy, Wilson's ability to leap just keeps the ball alive so much on the boards.
3rd on McDaniel.
You know, Jim, when you think about Wilson, in the first 9 games this year, he averaged 6 minutes and 4 points a game. In the last 9, 25 minutes and 14 points a game. He hasn't had any points, but you can see where it comes from. The ability to explode inside. Now you see the zone again. 2-1-2 matching up.
Wraparound pass. Wilson with his second hoop of the half and going to the line.
Well, there's a guy can bury himself down inside. Wilson listed at 6'5". I think he's a little smaller than that. Wiry guy down inside, and of course doesn't have one of those wide bodies. He can hide between Stewart, Corliss Williamson, Robinson, and Wilson if they come in. I'm looking for Wilson to get back in this game, Jim.
Lee Wilson, that is.
Yeah,
Michael Wilson hits a three-point play for Memphis. 6-point game now.
They had it at 6 in the first half.
Dillard again, 3. Dillard with 12 now.
You saw it was Wright that had to go out and get him. Shouldn't happen to defense.
Followed by Lorenzen Wright.
Dillard has been the offense. How about that steal?
Here comes Memphis. But Dillard from behind reaching it. Chase down corner. Big 3 here.
Kind of like Scotty Thurman's creep in the corner. A high arching shot by Anderson.
50-46 Arkansas. Timeout called by the Razorbacks. We told you Memphis specializes in comebacks. Well, folks, here they come. 50-46 Arkansas. Billy, what's been the reason for this Memphis run?
Jim, I think the reason happened in the last half. Corey Beck picked up that technical, and which also meant for his fourth personal foul, and they really missed their leader on the floor right now.
Dillard, boy, he's really gunning here in the second half. 2 threes in the half. Give him 17 for the night.
He's the offense. Scotty Thurman hasn't touched it in the second half.
Look at Wilson.
Are you sure he didn't climb up Stewart's back? I'm going to back up on that statement. I've never heard a 51-inch vertical leap.
You've seen it now.
It might not be 51, but that young man can leap.
Way off.
You can see there is no philosophy on the floor right now in regard to an offensive structure for Arkansas. It's 1-on-1 taking threes.
Wilson inside over Williamson for 2. 3-point game.
I think Nolan Richardson has to think about changing this lineup.
Inside, Williamson, soft hook. Too strong. A 3 to tie.
You see, it was Wilson again going up on the boards. Stewart is no match for him inside.
Anderson, baseliner. Long rebound, McDaniel.
Good rebound by McDaniel. Nice body work on his part.
Look at Dillard. Hacked by Garner.
Dillard, just such an explosive scorer. Still holds that record, that great game he had against Delaware. Shooting those threes from just inside the half-court line.
13 threes. That's Delaware State last year.
Delaware State, right?
39. The highest single game effort by an Arkansas player in the last couple of years. You know, he really reminds me with that quick release of Calvin Murphy. Who so quickly could put it up.
Yep. Calvin, of course, Hall of Famer now. Big star at Niagara, then in the NBA as well.
Full court pressure coming from the Razorbacks. Rolled a 5-point lead, and Dillard is whistled for that one.
Garner quick like Andre Turner, Elliott Perry. Guys can just put that ball on the floor. Remember back that great battle in '85 between Boston College and Memphis when it was Turner going up against Dana Barros. Two guys, two water bug type dribblers, just as we're seeing in Garner tonight.
55-50 Razorbacks.
Nice catch.
Johnson screen, just an open 3, and a new season high in a 2-point game.
Jimmy, and to have a man that's hot, how is he getting so wide open? This is where Beck is really missed on that court right now.
Williamson, will shoot 2. Backing in the defender again. That foul called against Lorenzen Wright.
You can see Garner tried to come back in there. Lorenzen may be right on that one, Jim. Corliss used his left arm to ward him off as he went up for that half hook.
They're going to bring in Lee Wilson off the Arkansas bench.
I think it's a nice move right here by Nolan Richardson. And a little bit more size in there. Vaughn back in the game now.
Corliss will get another one. Well, you know, we're talking about Beck's absence here during this Memphis run. And Nolan Richardson has said on numerous occasions, last season as well, that Corey Beck is the heart and soul of this team. And would be his choice if he was an NBA coach, one of his first players ever chosen. Leadership needed on the floor, missed at the moment.
There goes that water bug dribble.
Johnson. What a night he's having. 27, 57, 55 Arkansas.
Isn't it amazing, Jim, when you see a score like this and think that 22 was a season high?
Look at Dillard. Way out there.
I don't understand how Arkansas can go this far in the half and not get the ball some
For the top.
Jim, they have really gotten out of their offensive sync. Scotty Thurman has not touched the ball offensively here in the second half.
McDaniel 3. Short. Memphis basketball. They'll have the possession, next possession for the lead.
This is a great catch by Wright. The ball was thrown in behind him. Then good interior passing. And the put away.
Davor Remont's in for Arkansas.
Nice screen.
Mingo Johnson. Bingo in the lead for Memphis.
I knew you were going to say it, Jim. Bingo, bingo.
What better time?
I guarantee you, he is having some ball game.
60-57 Memphis.
And Nolan Richardson can wait no longer. He's coming in with Corey Beck.
And Garner steals it and throws it off the leg of Williamson. Smartly. Corey Beck. Nolan has seen enough. He puts the floor general back out there.
Jim, we talked about it in the first half. You were all over it during halftime. You said you thought Memphis would come back. But I looked at the stats and said, hey, here's a team down 9, shooting 29%. The other club shooting over 50. Rebounding was about even. Of course, Johnson has been a major reason for all of this. But I think Beck being out off the floor has taken away an offensive structure for Arkansas.
3-point lead and the ball.
And look at what Beck's going to be asked to do with 4 fouls. He's going to be asked to guard Johnson.
The amazing Mingo for 2 more.
Well,
has 31 now.
Corey Beck could not do much with him on a drive. Very smart play by Johnson. Scotty Thurman still has a touch.
Garner almost got it cleanly.
Now here's a case when you know you have a team that's got 4 fouls and you know he's playing against the #1 scorer in the game. You've got to help him. You can notice nobody came over to help whatsoever. And at the end, Wilson was there for a shot block, but too late.
Remont's 3 for the rim. Last touch by Williamson. Memphis basketball. By the way, Garner, the point man for Memphis, now with 3 fouls of his own.
Well, I think if I was Scotty Thurman, I might think about calling timeout and reintroducing myself to the teammates, because he has not had a shot in the second half, has he?
Has not. Hasn't touched the ball.
Right. It's a 2-3 zone now by Arkansas.
Arkansas off the turnover now. Goes to Beck. And fouled by Johnson.
How about what Garner tried to do? Flap into the hands. Tried to go ahead and make that interception.
That is the 4th foul against Mingo Johnson, who has 31 here tonight.
Boy, now you've got 2 key performers, both with 4. We talked about the foul trouble Corliss Williamson has had in previous NCAA tournament games, but neither team can afford to lose either one of these guys. And where would the scoring come from, Jim? Said 63% of the points come from in the paint for Memphis. It hasn't happened tonight.
Mingo with half the team total. He's on the bench. Dillard watching. There's Johnson.
Remember Beck in that first game of the NCAA tournament, missing on purpose that last foul shot so that there'd be no way to put the ball back in play for Texas Southern. He's done it before. Eddie Blair.
1-2. 4-point advantage for the Tigers. Oklahoma State 5-point lead last 2 minutes. Now it's down to 2.
It's a nice move by Nolan Richardson to protect Beck a little bit, go into a tight 2-3 zone, particularly air ball. Can't find Thurman a hole here.
Remots. 3. Down to 1.
One of the reasons this team's won a lot of close games is almost every guy in this club has the confidence to take that kind of shot.
And so many different players who can step up like a Dillard tonight and be the star.
Memphis rather really has problems now, Jim. I don't see a perimeter shooter on the floor.
That's the first time all night.
No, that's the second one. Second Memphis.
He's done a good job.
I've been working on it.
Vaughn back out right. On the wing, Henderson. He'll pull up. Foul play.
Yeah.
Gardner 3. 12% shooter from 3-point land on the season.
At the buzzer.
Remots again. Wilson follow up. Rejected. No. Foul call on Wilson.
Could have been on any one of 3 there.
You know, the thing was Henderson's shot never touched the iron, so Garner smartly now. Ooh, just in time.
Up to that point, he was 6 for 48 from threes.
What's wrong with that average?
12.5%. And hits the biggest one of his career.
Stewart comes back for Thurman. A mystery here in this half. Thurman 5 points on the night, none in this half. Not even a shot attempt in the half.
Arkansas undefeated club on the year when Thurman and Williamson both at 20. But that would take quite an 11 minutes for Scotty to get up in that position.
Wilson 2 for 2. All right, we've got the under 12 timeout. Alex Dillard has 19 tonight off the bench for Arkansas, but Memphis has rallied back from 15 down.
In the NCAA tournament too.
But here at Kemper, it was Memphis, Houston, and then Houston, Villanova, all the way to Albuquerque then for the Cougars. All right, Memphis with the lead by 2 and possession. Wimmer back into the game.
I think a nice move by Nolan Richardson here with his 2-3 zone. Saying with Mingo out of the ball game, I'm going to see if somebody else can score.
Well, Vaughn inside scores. And Wimmer, who's come off the bench, can provide them some perimeter shooting with Mingo out with the 4 fouls.
Right, we mentioned that he had 13 in the first game.
And I bet Billy Packer could watch the finish of the Wake Forest game, an alum there. They're about to get underway back in East Rutherford. Let's go back out there. Also a 2-point game. And here's Vern Lundquist and Quinn Buckley.
Cowboys from Stillwater out of the Big 8 come in with a 2-point lead. Timeouts, Wake with 1 remaining. Team foul 6 and 7. The possession arrow in favor of Wake Forest. 54.4 seconds remaining.
That's important because nobody really has a foul to give. The next one on the part of Wake Forest is 1 in the bonus.
Childress to Duncan. He's doubled.
You cannot let Childress get the ball back.
In the corner. In and out. Reeves to the rebound. Foul by Banks.
You want to get the ball in the hands of your shooter. They get into the hands of Randolph Childress. He wasn't exactly ready to get a shot off. So what he does is he finds the open man. He swings it to Duncan, who swings it back to Childress, and you see Rutledge wide open in the corner. He steps into it. Folks, you can't get any closer than this and not have it go down. There's nothing to feel bad about. The bench is sitting there watching that one and finding it hard to believe.
Reeves at the line. He's perfect. 6 for 6. He's now perfect 7 for 7. Before this game began, I chatted with the radio broadcast team from Oklahoma State, Bill Tegans and Tom Dorado. They both said individually. If it comes down to free throw shooting, the Cowboys have no chance.
Well, it's not over yet. They just got a heck of a rebound with Collins keeping it over. Oh, tipping it. And the timeout's been taken by Eddie Sutton.
31 seconds remaining.
All right, with a timeout there, it's 69-64. We're going to take you back to Memphis and Arkansas. It's 69-64 there. Here's Jim Nance and Billy Pack.
Now back at Kemper Arena, Memphis has scored on its last 2 possessions now to lead by 5 over the defending national champions. Clint McDaniel returns to the game. Beck on the floor with 4 personals. Mingo Johnson with 31 tonight for the Tigers on the bench with 4 fouls. 1-1 for Corliss.
And Larry Finch saying, as long as I can stay in the lead, I keep Mingo on that bench. Young man, one of the great players in Memphis history. Twice led him in scoring.
Larry Finch, 3rd all-time scorer in this Memphis history. Averaged 24 when he led them to the promised land back in 1973.
Larry Keenan
on that same team.
Robinson.
69-65 Tigers, now under 10 remaining. Vaughn blocked by Wilson. Now they call the foul. Vaughn will shoot 2.
If Wilson hadn't come down with a chop, Jimmy, they probably got by with that as a clean block. See it right here. Vaughn gets pretty nice position. Wilson's got his hand up. Now watch, he's got him, and if he just stays with it, but he comes down on the chop.
David Vaughn to shoot 2. He is the nephew of Coach Finch.
Michael Wilson, who really kind of, with Mingo Johnson, really the guys that turn this thing around. He has been out of the game for a while as well. Used it all. No, interesting. Vaughn, there's Mingo up. Vaughn this year picked his preseason player of the year.
All right, back in East Rutherford now. The timeout has concluded. There's 31 seconds left. Oklahoma State up by 3. Here's Vern Lundquist and Quinn Buckner.
31 seconds remaining. Oklahoma State up by 3, 66-63, and getting ready to inbound.
Well, right now, all you want to do is just get the ball inbounds. You don't have to worry about getting shots. They've got the guys, first of all, that are good ball handlers on the floor. The guy that I don't want to go to the foul line if I'm Oklahoma State is Keontae Roberts. He's shooting 43%. So you better hope he stays away from the basketball if you're Oklahoma State. And they get it to Andre Owens, knowing that he's the guy that they got to get to a foul line anyway. He's a 72% foul shooter. Always in tight games, foul shooting is going to be important. And the games, as we go further and further on our road to Seattle, you've got to be able to shoot the basketball. You see the 24 attempts are big, first of all, for Oklahoma State. You see the percentage in the favor of Wake Forest.
And today, 15 of 21, 8 of 12 for Wake Forest. They simply have not gotten to the line.
And that's been primarily because of the aggressiveness, I think, on the part of Oklahoma State. They've just taken the ball to the basket and tried to make some plays. Randy Rutherford got off, and that really helped them.
Oklahoma State defeated on this floor by Temple in overtime in 1991. They get 1 of 2 from Andre Owens. The lead is 4.
Well, you got to find the shooters, because LaRue is one of them. You got and they can come up.
You will not miss the end of this game. It's a 1-point game. Going to commercial there. We're going to take you back to Memphis, Arkansas. Memphis now 72-67. Here's Jim Nance and Billy Pack.
Arkansas is in trouble. 8:59 remaining. Down 5.
What's new? I mean,
story of their season.
Yeah, what's new?
And really, the comeback by the Tigers, the story of their year, where 4 times they've come back from double-digit deficits to win. Beck rejected by Henderson. Ahead, Wimmer. Dunk time.
Scotty Thurman fell asleep, Jim. Good hit ahead. You know that game down at Arkansas in which this club lost take on Arkansas.
Memphis with its largest lead. McDaniel 3. Saved by Corliss. Flips it short. Vaughn straight down with it. Garner up and running. Got a man on the wing. Sets him up. Henderson, three-pointer. Yes! 10-point advantage for Memphis.
Timeout Arkansas.
Razorbacks with their second timeout of the half, and we're looking at a 25-point turnaround.
For the first time since 1965 during the Elite Eight. Let's go back to Memphis, Arkansas. Memphis up by 10, 7:53 left in that game. Here's Jim Nance and Billy Packer.
So a 1 seed goes down in the East. Here, Arkansas in serious danger. Under 8 minutes to go. Misfiring on a 3 is Stewart. And here come the Tigers again. Winner way up there.
Jim, I don't understand how they get caught with such bad defensive balance. Corey Beck is going inside. Now he is their number 2 rebounder. They're trying to do too much too quick.
Thurman, they need him now, and he knocks down the 3.
If Beck goes inside with a dribble, Jim, nobody is rotating back outside to be back on defensive balance. Full court pressure now by Arkansas.
Still plenty of time. 7 minutes and change. 9-point Tiger lead.
Pretty tough.
Henderson now looking for help.
Oh, how about that dribble move?
Garner, tough no-look pass, and Wilson was cutting to the hole.
He only knows one way, flat out. Garner picked up that loose ball and continued it right with the dribble.
Now the crowd here reacting to the announcement of the Oklahoma State victory. This in the heart of Big 8 country, and big country in the Cowboys in the regional final in the East.
Of course, they had a pretty good game, right? A pretty good 3 days right here in this arena to win the Big 8 tournament.
Williamson fouled by Henderson.
Going right down inside to Corliss now. Plenty of time to go inside, not panic. Thurman on that kick out, hitting the jumper to gets him started in the second half.
So Williamson will shoot a couple. He'll shoot one more.
Free throw shooting has been decent tonight, Jim, when we take into consideration what happened in their first game.
Wake Forest is out in the East, the #1 seed, falling to Oklahoma State. Here, the defending national champions have squandered a 15-point lead. In fact, one time went down 10, a 25-point turnaround. Now it's a 7-point deficit for the Razorbacks with under 7 minutes remaining. Tigers over the Wimmer, strong on the 3.
A little loose on that shot.
Memphis never ranked the entire season in the top 25 poll. Inside Arkansas with Corliss Williamson, who now has 21, and it's a 5-point Tiger advantage.
How about how Beck has calmed everything down in terms of getting everybody involved in the flow, going inside to Williamson.
For those of you who have been enjoying that Wake Forest Oklahoma State battle, the story here, Corey Beck had 4 fouls by halftime. One of them coming off of a technical. And in his absence with 4 fouls, Memphis staged the huge comeback.
Corliss Williamson wanting that ball.
Beck on the floor now. Inside, Williamson calling for it and delivering. 79-76 Memphis.
That timeout by Nolan Richardson changed it around, and Larry Finch counters.
You like that timeout, don't you?
Very much so.
So a 7-point run by the Razorbacks. Tigers lead by 3. Here, Scotty Thurman with only 8, and Mingo Johnson from Memphis, a career-high 31, but he's been out for a while now in this half with 4 fouls. He returns to the lineup now after this recent flurry by Arkansas, trims the Memphis 10-point lead to 3. Watch number 11 for the Tigers. 31 points in the game tonight so far. Inside they go. for Lorenzen Wright, and the freshman brings it back to a 5-point Memphis lead.
Jim, they know Garner is not going to try to shoot when he goes inside on that dribble penetration, and yet two guys took him, allowed him to have a passing lane.
Beck steps in, gives it up. Stewart now to the hole. In and out. And Vaughn rips the rebound for Memphis.
Johnson was looking at that basket. He's got to get himself loose again. He's been on that bench a long time. Scotty Thurman guarding him now.
5 minutes remaining. 5-point Memphis lead. Bingo. Too strong. Force that one.
Yep. He's got to be patient.
Scotty Thurman. 3. Yes.
Corey Beck is everything that Nolan Richardson talks about. Since he has come back into this game, he settled everything down for his ball club. He knows how to hit the right man at the right time.
81-79 Tigers.
Now the key is, can they get the ball to Mingo Johnson when Beck's on him and force Johnson to play him off the dribble? They keep switching. Now he gets back out on Thurman. Want to try to penetrate on Corey Beck. That's a good move there.
Henderson inside. Pass. Back to right for another dunk.
Jim, the right thing to do, whoever Corey Beck's guarding, make him guard you on the dribble. Because he doesn't want to pick up his 5th foul, so he's going to have phantom defense.
Williamson just has to save it. And now back around. Thurman open again. Another 3.
Nice rebound.
Garner almost took it away.
Those are some quick hands over there. Garner. That 2-3 zone backed in.
McDaniel.
They had to be aware of Scotty Thurman. The ball fake just froze the 2-3 defense.
83-82 Memphis, and how quickly the 10-point lead dissipates.
Come back to the 2-3 zone. Now Corey Beck does not have to guard a dribble. Mingo trying to hide over on the sideline. There he is.
Mingo 3. He's 0 for 2 since coming back in. And now Arkansas with this trip can regain the lead. Razorbacks led by 15 at 1 point in the first half. Off of Williamson.
Hit right off the knee or the shin. He still doesn't mind, Jim. Guy's an all-American ball player. He said, bring it back in here. I'll score something.
2.5 to go in yet another Arkansas nail-biter.
Man-to-man again. See if Garner can get the ball to Johnson. There it is.
Now a switch. Vaughn, outside jumper.
Not the shot they want.
Stewart saves it from going out. Here comes Beck. Down in the corner for the lead, McDaniel. So 2 empty trips for Arkansas.
I don't know if that was a very wise shot, Jim. They can wait on setting something up.
Under 2 minutes. Memphis, the 6th seed in the Midwest. Inside reach around on Corliss. His 3rd.
That was a nice look by Wright on the inside. Young man has not had the big explosive offensive game that he's had on many occasions this year. That's a good look.
Each team with only 1 timeout remaining. Arkansas had to use 2 in this half to try to slow down the Memphis comeback move. Vaughn 3 out of 4 from the line tonight. But Wright is there.
How about that smart play?
Henderson 3.
Thurman's wide open.
Memphis, a 4 free throw shooting team. One of the worst in the tournament. And it cost him right there.
Jim, we mentioned 63%. Tough to win as they have all year doing that.
1:20 remaining. Thurman. Partially blocked. Arkansas now 3 times with a chance to take the lead and denied. Mingo.
I thought Garner would try to take that one all the way to the hoop. He had the numbers. Hold it back out.
Arkansas coming down to the last minute again. 1 minute even remaining. 1-point lead for the Tigers.
You know, last year their 4-point win over Duke was the only close game they had in the run to the championship. Every other game they won by 8 or more.
Garner driving, now back over. Henderson, tough shot. Rebounded, out to McDaniel. Arkansas trailing by 1. Now with the 4th trip to take the lead.
Remember, Johnson has 4 fouls on him as well. He's guarding Beck.
Williamson wants it inside. Wright is trying to deny him. Wright's fronting him now. Beck lost control of it, but got it back. Timeout, the last one for the Razorbacks with 8 on the shot clock. 13 seconds on the game clock. Season on the line in Kansas City. Saw pull off another one. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 13-7 on the game clock.
Scotty Thurman has had 5 game winners.
Call on Garner will send Beck to the line.
Quick whistle on that one, but it was a hand check.
And that is the 10th team foul, which will mean Beck will shoot 2.
You'll see the hand check right out front. Garner goes after him without question. It was a touch, but the new interpretation of the rule this year would have found that properly called.
2 for Beck.
Free throw shooter. He has really turned this around for Arkansas. Put some structure in their game in the second half.
Game tied. 11.5 seconds remaining. This one for the lead. Too strong, and the rebound goes to Memphis. A timeout call by the Tigers. 9.5 seconds remaining. And we're out of timeouts here.
Corey Beck goes out of bounds. That man on the sideline cannot move.
Henderson will inbound it.
It's a tough inbound situation here. There better be a good screen.
Overtime in Kansas City. They got an open shot, but we're going to overtime in the Midwest tonight. Fresh 5, and to start it out, Memphis controls.
Let's see if Mingo Johnson can get back on track. Jim, he hasn't been able to down for what, 8, 10, 12 minutes, something like that?
At least.
Yeah.
He had 31 by the 15-minute remaining mark.
No, he hasn't been able to do anything since. Pretty good defense by McDaniel on him in the corner.
And remember, he has 4, and Corey Beck still with 4, which he had picked up by halftime.
Memphis goes back to the 2-3 zone. Corliss got a pass.
Wide open on the baseline.
Sleep on the switch is the back line of the 2-3 zone. I don't think Corliss realized he had that opening until all of a sudden nobody near him. What a guard, an All-American.
Almost stolen by Stewart. Vaughn, no one on him. Oh, he should have taken the open shot.
He had the easy shot.
Here come the Razorbacks. Razorbacks scored on every possession in overtime against Syracuse.
And Syracuse wasn't playing badly themselves. You know what, Jim? They just had the matchup every time down. was Beck. It was Dillard.
Dillard made a couple of huge plays in that OT. Stewart, three.
Didn't like the shot. Good block out.
Vaughn. Right underneath. Garner. Good pass. Back to Vaughn, and we're tied again.
How often do we see that little guy down inside making passes? He's only about, he gets down, he's only 2 feet off the ground.
Thurman from the wing. He loves it from there. The wing in the corner is where Thurman thrives, and that three makes it 88-85 Arkansas.
Right down inside, getting pretty decent position. And watch 3 seconds. Looks like they want to get him the ball.
Doubled up now. Beck coming over, and a steal, a wide open layup coming from McDaniel. Arkansas by 5.
Overpassing on the inside has really cost Memphis in this overtime.
Memphis calls the timeout. 90-85 Razorbacks, 2:18 remaining.
Friday Night Fights used to be sponsored by somebody that's an NCAA corporate sponsor for close shaves, Jimmy. And they're getting some tonight, huh?
You're never one to miss a sponsor, are you?
No, no.
All right, foul called against Arkansas. And the boys back in graphics playing off the Razorbacks with the close shave.
Oh, you're reaching now.
No, that's what they did.
All right.
I like it. Corliss, by the way, picking up his 4th. So,
well, I can still see him laying on the floor in that Syracuse ball game, figuring there's no way we get out of this.
This is a 1-and-1 for Lorenzen Wright. Oh, they missed a huge 1-and-1 in regulation, and they miss here too. 2 minutes to go. Arkansas 5-point lead.
The only thing now, Memphis will have to make some steals defensively.
Stewart backing him in over to Corliss. 7-point advantage.
And he shakes his head.
Wilson.
Again, they're going to have to do it defense. Corliss was wide open. Corey Beck said, no, the clock is our teammate here. Garner's got to go for steals. Can't let the clock keep going.
No one even challenged Corliss.
You got to go for steals. Down 5. 2 possessions here with a 3 even. Can't let the clock go.
But now under 10 on the shot clock, so you don't want to foul him now. Let him go ahead and run it out. See what happens on the possession. McDaniel gives it up. Not in time. Shot clock expired.
Nice defensive set. But a lot of time went off, Jim. See, McDaniel tries to make the move. Excellent pass, but good call here. Didn't get there in time.
1:01 remaining. 92-87 Arkansas.
Bingo Johnson has been scoreless since he's come back into the ball game.
Wilson, bounce pass, tough pass. Ball on the floor. Arrow belongs to Arkansas.
Jim, the real key, and look at the man on the bottom of that pile. Corey Beck. Played this second half with 4 fouls on him. The team was in disastrous shape till he came back out on the floor to settle things down. And there he is in the thick of things again.
One Norman Richardson calls my heart and soul of the team. Memphis brings in Leon Mitchell for the first time tonight, number 12.
Well, he's going to hound McDaniel, knowing McDaniel's going to have the ball most of the time and try to go for a steal, I'm sure.
Mitchell, a defensive wizard, but Arkansas easily beats the press.
Going for double teams. Somebody could be open inside if they can get it up.
Garner gives up the foul. And again, double bonus means Arkansas shoots 2 the rest of the way. That one on Garner, his 5th. He won't forget his 4th for a long time.
Nope. The hand check on Corey Beck coming across when you had to figure Beck was going to try to penetrate and kick out to Scotty Thurman. Wouldn't you figure that was the play, Jim? Well, this Arkansas group of winners, this will be their 9th straight NCAA tournament victory. That's the kind of streak you want.
You saying it's over?
No, I'm saying this will be their 9th. I didn't say it's over yet.
31 seconds to go. Arkansas, in fact, squandered a 9-point overtime lead against Kentucky in the SEC final.
Well, Jim, remember we were doing the Big East tournament. We heard that score come down. You figure, well, that's Kentucky's out of there. Yep. Of course, the SEC being well represented by these two clubs. Kentucky looking tremendous last night.
Rodney Newsom checked in. The whistle, Daniel won a 2. 6-point lead.
Still 2 possessions, but they got to think 3 here.
Mingo can shoot him. Gets bumped by McDaniel on the drive.
Jim, that's what you don't want to do, because let them have the 2 here. If it's a 3-possession game, they're in real trouble. You're shooting 2 fouls on the other end.
It's the 4th on Clint McDaniel.
This stops the clock, puts points on the board while the clock is stopped. Definitely not what you want if you're Arkansas.
Mitchell, the man Larry Finch is hoping can make a steal. Comes back in for defensive purposes. Johnson at the line now, double bonus to shoot 2. And there's his first point, Billy.
Yep, since the long sit down.
Career high tonight, 32.
Remember that 4th foul was just a little reach-in foul. It really was such a cheap one that he got caught on.
Ooh, way short with that one. And a foul called on Wright, and that'll send Thurman to the line for a couple. Billy, go back to last Sunday in Austin.
Now here's the play. Jackson dives out, gets the ball. Lawrence Moten, who I still say is one of the more intelligent players I've watched play in college basketball. He had a tremendous basketball game against Arkansas on that one. Jim Boeheim realized, I think showing some sportsmanship there, realizing, yes, Lawrence did call the time. Lawrence was in that ball game, Jim. You think about what cost the game, but he put him in a position to win. He was 5 for 8 from 3, had 18 points. 27 points. Played a terrific game.
Marcus Nolan comes in for Memphis now for the second one. Thurman. 95-88. Tipped out of bounds. Memphis ball.
The ever-present McDaniel defensively. Now all they're doing is playing against the 3.
Mingo, 3.
That was a 2, Jim. I think he was inside the line.
Stewart. Now fouled by Newsom.
Well, they figured a way to dodge it again. They're a tough out.
At one time, down 10 in the second half. The Chevy players of the game here, Billy. Mingo Johnson with a career high, and Corey Beck with a textbook lesson in leadership. Picked up his 4th foul with 30 seconds left in the first half, and is still on the floor in overtime.
And didn't come out as a starter in the start of the second half, and that's what was that great turnaround. What was it, Jim? A 15-point turnaround? I mean, a 25-point turnaround.
55-30 run by Memphis. All for naught. Nolan 3 from off the bench.
No chance now. 2 shots coming up for Scotty Thurman again. And you'd want on the line.
You saw a shot of Larry Finch a moment ago. It has not been the easiest season for Larry Finch. He has had his detractors in the city of Memphis, which I don't understand. He's brought this team to the Sweet 16. No one steeped in history more at Memphis basketball than Larry Finch.
High school, college assistant coach, college head coach, loyal to the city in every respect, has done an incredible job turning around the credibility of their program. How he could not be supported is unbelievable.
Folks in Memphis got to leave him alone. He's a good one. He's done a great job. Memphis comes up short tonight. Arkansas again in a nail biter.